SpongeBob, a series about comedy on Nickelodeon created by Steven Hillenburg that aired on May 1st, 1999, and continued to be a hit from then on. SpongeBob has become a big impact on today's TV world, and with this uniqueness as a television series, as his famous SquarePants, henceforth his name SpongeBob SquarePants, was given to him, has attracted children and even adults' attention. Either you have seen the show or you haven't. It's as simple as that. But if you have, I'm pretty sure you would remember it from the experience. SpongeBob, in my opinion, is a very unique show and has a fun aspect of sitting down for cheesy and funny laughs. But they may seem cheesy in the real world, but something about that little sponge that makes me, and many more, laugh still today. But it isn't all about laughs and giggles for some people. Some it is the exact opposite thinking of the show. Some think that the show is too violent and not suitable for children because of the way they act on the show. As some I have heard say that it is a fashion, like it's not what children should be seeing. This is because of them acting out what happens on the show. I could see that happening to some kids, but I don't think you should blame it on the show. My old babysitter, to put in a personal situation, has let the kids watch SpongeBob, and I was one of those kids. I loved it every day coming to watch those videos. But now she has changed her opinion on the show because she thinks that it is bad for kids' eyes. She no longer lets them watch SpongeBob SquarePants and other television shows to her disapproval. So right there is an outside source of my own opinion to see others' points of interest on the subject. But if it is such a controversial subject, then why has Nickelodeon never or made over billions of revenue on SpongeBob? This troubles some people because they think it should be changed, and as much so to do is taking it off air. But in my true honest opinion, I really enjoy watching SpongeBob when I was little. Until today, I still watch it very much so. After I saw that people were upset about all this commotion on it being bad for kids' eyes, I thought to myself, really? It is not about the show that makes them who they are, but themselves for doing what they do. Don't blame other outlets for your actions. Take into consideration that it isn't always the show's fault and could be form experiences in real life that lead to the actions. But throughout the whole time SpongeBob has been airing on television, it has never seemed to be taken away, and has been for around and has finished their 9th season. So its lasting appeal still makes people interested in the show. And you never know, SpongeBob could die off in a few years, or it could go strong as it keeps its aspect of a good show. If it does keep going, then good for it, because I do think that the show is not to blame for bad behavior on others. But overall, I really have enjoyed my experience with the sponge named SpongeBob SquarePants, and I myself loved every minute of it. I'm Dion, and I'm interviewing Tim Lechtenberg about the SpongeBob series. Did you watch SpongeBob as a kid?
Yes, Dion, I did.
Do you think the series has made a bad impact on children?
Well, I think there's some good qualities to it, but as far when I was a kid, it was a lot cleaner. Today, I have a little brother who watches it, and it's more. It's not quite as funny as it was. It's nonsense more than it was when I was younger.
Okay. Is SpongeBob really for the kid's eye?
I would say it kind of depends because there's some episodes that are for the kids, but also there's some things where he's walking around naked and he does have underwear on. So I mean, there's good and bad things to it, but it just kind of depends on the episode.
Right. Thanks. I'm Dion, and I'm interviewing Nicole Babutsky about the SpongeBob series. Did you ever watch SpongeBob as a kid?
Yes, I did.
Have they changed since you were a kid over the years?
They seem to have changed a little bit. I guess they're probably a little bit more violent now, but they're still good.
Yes. So, do you think the series has made a bad impact on the children?
No, I don't think it has. For the majority, no, it hasn't. But there has been a couple episodes, like when they were cussing and the words were bleeped out. That might not have been so good, but SpongeBob does kind of teach you work ethic and motivation.
Cool. So is it the show that impacts them, or is it the person themselves?
I think it's the person themselves. I mean, it's kind of like what you get from the show, and it's kind of based on their surroundings too.
So in all, do you regret watching it when you were little?
Nope.